Thank you all for joining this series of sessions, Career Go sessions, where we help empower, enable everybody to find their dream job. So today's session is Change and Leadership. And as you know, this call will be recorded and streamed on social media and YouTube. So if you're not comfortable being streamed or recorded, please leave the session now. So the community is going to help you boost your networking, practice skills, and knowledge. And we work to help see everyone in the job they love, as well as find and use their full potential. So please share your LinkedIn profile in the chat if you are comfortable, and feel free to connect with others who share their LinkedIn. And this is how you will grow your network. So the call today, Jenna is gonna maybe speak for 45 minutes or so, and then open up for Q&A at the end. If you can please limit your questions to 2 minutes to give a chance to others to ask questions. So at the end of the call, we do a survey. We want to hear your voice. We want to know what you're looking to get in the future calls. So please fill that 1 minute survey. That would help us understand your needs. We also take a group selfie at the end. You can use it for marketing and sharing recognition on LinkedIn. So please stick around till the end. We want to see you on camera and take that group selfie together. This whole community is all about volunteering. So if you would like to give quotas and recommendation to the speaker, she's putting energy and effort and her time to help you. So as gesture, just you can maybe send her quotas and recommendations on LinkedIn. So our promise as a community, you will get hired within 3 to 6 months. That's what we observed. When people join those calls regularly, when they apply what they learn, when they ask questions, when they teach this to others as well, they find jobs. So you will not walk alone. This is also our promise to you. So ask us questions, be curious, don't be shy. We're here to help you succeed. So use this community to your best. Our goal is ambitious. We want 1,000 people plus to be hired in 2021. And recently I learned that more people other than the 5 who just got hired are getting offers or to maybe getting hired. And we want you to share with us when you get hired, please. We would like to celebrate with you and learn about that good news. So again, ask questions, be curious, join and share. Our YouTube channel is rich of so many good, wise, and great wisdom from different speakers, different topics, LinkedIn, resume, interviewing, assessment, future of work, lots of great nuggets. So, feel free to check the YouTube channel and, benefit from those learnings. They will help you a lot. So coming up, this Sunday, find your inner compass with help of nature. This is a speaker from Netherlands. She's gonna speak about, how to, find your inner self working with pets, specifically horses. And this is gonna be very inspireful to you. This Thursday is gonna be Business in Canada 101. The topic may change. The speaker may have some conflict. We may change this, but this is the topic for now. So for today, we have the topic Change and Leadership. The objective is reaching success isn't about checking things off the list. It's about taking purposeful action. Purposeful action is the only way you can thrive through change. The 3 questions every leader needs to ask to grow and thrive through the change. Our speaker, Jenna Smith, is a leadership and change consultant that helps leaders and their teams do their best thinking, changing, and executing. Her company, ThinkFree, works with entrepreneurs and leaders that have a big vision and big goals and need to get their business plans and teams aligned to a new way of working. With that, I will hand it over to you, Jenna. The floor is yours, and let me stop sharing from my end.
Thank you, Ahmed. It's so great to be here, everybody. I really appreciate that you took the time out today to be here and to be part of this. I am also super excited because this means that I get to spend time with you and to meet new people and to help me hone my own craft. So I love that are all leaders coming together and being able to do that together. Tonight, while everybody else is eating dinner or doing whatever they're doing, I want to talk to you about something that's been happening a little bit in my life and potentially in yours as well. So every night at 2 a.m. for the last 2 years, my son has decided that 2 a.m. is party time. At 2 a.m., he wakes up every single night and decides that he wants to play, he wants to watch TV, he wants to do all of the things except what sounds like should be normal, which is to sleep. And, going into this, I knew that there would be a few months of time when there was sleepless nights, but I was really well prepared to be that, well-adjusted, calm, peaceful kind of parent that had read all the books on sleep training, had gotten the sleep sack and the swaddles, and taken the classes on how to gently rock your baby to sleep so they can sleep full nights. And yet here I am at 2 a.m. every single night, wondering, where did I go wrong? I followed all the experts. I paid people to tell me what to do. I read all of the right books, and yet still this is happening. And I am willing to bet that the same thing is happening in your life somewhere. You consult the experts, you read all the books, you do all of the things, you follow the checklist to success, and yet something is still not happening. How about the time that you spent some time, you went and you found your grandmother's favorite recipe, and the one that everybody loved and coveted. They said, "Oh, grandma's cookies are the best." And so you followed that recipe on that worn recipe card to a T. And yet your cookies that everybody loves when grandma makes turned out absolutely inedible. Or what about the time you bought the book on how to be a great spouse, and yet you still find yourself maybe nagging or being frustrated at your spouse for some sort of reason every once in a while. Maybe you consulted the career and leadership gurus about how to get your dream job or how to gain influence in your career so that you can get promoted or, be more influential as a leader. And yet you still find yourself wondering, where did I go wrong? I read the book. I followed the things in there to a T. We have built a culture around doing the right things. Our school systems are set up around doing the right things, that 1 + 1 = 2, and that if I answer those questions right on my math test, I'm going to get an A or a satisfactory or an excellent, and that there is always a right answer. We've told people that by getting financial gurus to tell us how to invest into stocks, and yet sometimes the stocks don't go the way we thought that they'd go, right? And we've done all of these things thinking that there's this checklist to success. Happens in all of money, happens in all of relationships, happens in all of business. And it's all around doing this right thing. The problem is, while doing the right thing is a really great start, it doesn't always get you the right results, especially when things are always changing. And everything's changing all of the time. So obviously there is something more to success than this checklist of success that we're looking for and believe that we can follow. We need to stop treating success like it can be attained through a list of prescribed activities. So if you learn nothing else from this evening, I hope that you learn that we can't just read the book and expect the results, or get the consultant to come in and help you with your team and expect that overnight things change. Because all of those recipes for success, all of those experts on the leadership books and the financial advice and the parenting advice to help your child get to sleep at night, that we have received, we've brought it in hoping for that success. Those have some really great principles, but they don't take into account the fact that everything is changing in the world, and they sure don't take into account that we are ourselves. You and I, we each have our own world, our own circumstances, our own way of looking at things, and our own set of things that are happening all around us. It doesn't take into account that there is complexity in the world, that When sometimes it takes 2 steps backwards to get to 1 step forward to go to where you want to be. And sometimes that we're handed really tough circumstances, like what happened in this last year. The last leadership book you read didn't take into account what's happened over the past 12 months, and it sure isn't going to take into account what happens in the next 12 months as well. The last advice you got on how to excel in your career doesn't take into account your genius zone, what you do really well, what you're known for, and it doesn't take into account what you truly desire. There are some great principles there, but it's not going to help you thrive unless you understand you and what success looks like for you. Everything is constantly changing, and the only thing that is constant is you. It's what you desire, what your purpose is, who you are created to be, and what you are created to do, and all of the things around you. That's the only other thing that's constant besides change. And those materials, they don't take into context who you are and what you desire to do. So success has to be driven more off of purpose than activities. When things are changing all around you and you're like, this is happening, but I want to go over here, that has to be driven not off of a checklist of saying, okay, things are changing, so I need to first I need to do this, then I need to do this, then I need to do this. It has to come from somewhere deeper. It has to come from somewhere more that is heart-led, that is purpose-led, that's going to inform you about who you are, and where you want to be. And that's what we're talking about tonight. So when something unexpected happens, when change happens and it comes unexpectedly, like your job changes or your project hits the wall and completely, everybody's like, we're going to trash this project that you worked on forever. And you feel the pain of that. When your child falls down and scrapes their knee and gets the ouchie, and the market shifts and your finances aren't going the way you want, we go into hyperdrive. We think, oh my goodness, I need to fix this. That's what happened when change happens to us unexpectedly. We think, I have to fix this now. I need to do something. I have to do something now, and I have to be responsible for following what I think is going to help me to get there. It's a natural response. It's a completely natural response. It's built into how we work. So what do? You go and you Google it. How to get a promotion in the next 3 months. How to make my finances double over the next 12 months. I have always been one to Google my son's different symptoms to see what they are and what I can do at home so that he doesn't have to go to the doctor, right? We're always Googling, we're always searching, we're always looking for that quick fix because we feel we have to control the situation and do something about it now. All without ever checking in on what we truly believe about us. All without ever checking in on what is really happening here. All without ever checking in on is what I want. What do I really want? Now that things have changed, what is it that I think that is going on? What could this opportunity really bring to me? What could this be doing right now? What is there a chance for? Instead, we're focusing on fixing the ouch. We're focused on trying to follow the prescribed list of activities. And that only leads to okay results. Good things. But I think that there is an opportunity as we talk about change and we talk about leadership to get into something so much bigger than that, so much more purposeful than that could bring meaning to us, to our teams, to us getting, growing in our profession or in our family or in our finances, everything. I believe that change really means one thing. It doesn't say anything about who we are. It doesn't say anything about what we can or cannot do. It only says that there is an opportunity. With every change, and change is happening all around us at all times, there is always opportunity. Anytime change happens, whether you instigated it or not, there is an opportunity. There's an opportunity to look past whatever is happening out there and to look internally, to check in with our hearts and to say, I wonder what I could do with this. What could be coming for me? How could I lead from here into something so much better? How could I help myself or my family or my team move forward into what we want now that there is change? Because every change brings an opportunity and a window to look at things and to look at them differently. Not based on what someone else wants, not based on what someone told you that you should have or that you deserve, or what looks good on paper or to your coworkers. Those things, they rarely bring around happiness. But there is an opportunity for you to move forward into something that is actually meaningful, that will actually create true success for you, and to move into something bigger and better for yourself. Whether that's something like a promotion, whether it's just having more responsibility or taking on the next project in your job, or it's something for your family or a business, whatever it may be. There is always opportunity. So if there's always going to be an opportunity, maybe the question we should be asking ourselves is, what if there is something so much better on the other side of change? What if I just looked for it? What would I find? What if this opportunity that we have of change is to get really curious about what's next? Doing that is going to require you to think a little bit differently. It's going to require you to lay aside what you know and what you believe and what people tell you that you should have, and to open up to possibilities. Anytime things change, you have an opportunity to move towards what you want. But it's also going to require you to change your thinking too. If you truly want to thrive through change, if you want to lead yourself, your family, or a team, you're going to have to shift how you think to be able to see the opportunity, to be able to see and translate that change, whether you expected it or not, can actually mean better things, improvements, whether small or large. And that's going to require you to think more purposefully. You're going to have to think with intention. You're going to have to think past what you see and feel and the emotions that are happening. I know that we can all talk about the emotional roller coaster ride that happened in the last year, and how much better off we would have been if we had just taken a step back, even though things were crazy, and just say, I wonder what good there could potentially come out of this, even if there is bad. What opportunities could I have in this moment to make things better, to live in the moment, to be more purposeful, to think at a higher and better level, and move and improve things in my life, in my work life, in my team's lives. So we have to think and thrive through change. And I think if we're thinking about what change means, we have to think about what success really looks like. Because what happened yesterday isn't going to be what happens for us tomorrow. If you're successful today, this is what Joe Calloway says. He's a famous speaker. He says, if you're successful today, it's because you knew what it would take to be successful yesterday. But tomorrow, it's going to take something different. That's how we have to shift our thinking. We always need to be improving and looking forward at what's coming next. So I want you to imagine that after a long day of work, you've headed to the grocery store. You had meetings all day. They were, you were filled with meetings to the brim. There's still work to do. You have to go home, maybe haul the kids around, talk to spouses, get the meal prepared. And so you're doing all of your week's grocery shopping on a busy day after work. And to top that off, you're hungry. Everyone knows it is not a good idea to go grocery shopping when you are hungry, because it always ends up that you peruse right past the apples, right past the avocados, right past the broccoli and all the things that you should eat, and you go to the Doritos, the chips, the cookies, the prepared foods, the things that we are told that we shouldn't eat, right? Or that we should have on occasion. And all of a sudden, in a blink of an eye, because you rushed through the store, going past all of these wonderful fruits and vegetables, that you end up at the cash register with a cart full of junk food, spending $200, and having nothing to eat for dinner still. Just snacks. How often has that happened to you? that's taking action. That's going about things and fixing them as they come to you. That's talking about, or that's what happens when you have no plan. There's no strategy involved in this kind of grocery shopping. It's simply must get food now. Must conquer this objective so that I can survive and go home. Must eat kind of thinking. That's showing up everywhere you go. It's showing up when your boss assigns you a new project. It's showing up when you're studying for that test for your next degree. It's showing up when you go for the promotion. You're trying to do all the right things. You're trying to conquer the objective or trying to build your finances. It's showing up everywhere. And this is the difference between thinking in the moment and responding in a rapid response mode and taking regular, plain old action and taking purposeful action. You see, whenever change comes, and it's happening all the time, there is always an opportunity to think at a higher level and think at a level that's the difference between action and purposeful action. Purposeful action is taking a pause first. It's looking and asking, it's looking at the situation, and it's asking some really, really great questions. Simple questions. These are questions that I have used to strategic plan with billion-dollar financial institutions and nonprofits. They're the same questions that I ask every day when I go to talk to myself about my own goals, my own objectives, or whenever change comes for me. In the grocery store example, those questions look like this. I'm hungry. We need to make a meal for the week. So what does my family want to eat this week? What's in the fridge? And what ingredients and plans do I need to make sure those meals get cooked so that all the ingredients don't just rot in the fridge after a week of buying them? Because that happens too, right? That is what purposeful action looks like. Purposeful action is that taking the step back, being a little bit strategic about your response to something when it happens to you or when you want to instigate a change in your life or your work. It means that you're asking these three key questions. Where do I want to go? Where am I today? And what's it going to take to get there? Every strategic planning session, every quarter, every year, every business does it, right? If they could truly answer these three questions from the heart, we'd have really successful businesses if they were implementing these questions. The same goes for you in your job or in your finances or with your family. So here's the question. You're going into a restaurant. In pre-pandemic, my husband and I love to go into restaurants. We go into them and we try new foods. This is also pre-baby because after the baby came, we just stayed home. But we'd go in and we'd try new foods and we'd look at all the different things. And we'd pick the restaurant based off of the type of feeling and the type of food that we wanted to have. So we'd ask the question, well, are you hungry for Mexican food or do you want a burger? Do you want pizza or do you want pasta? And every time you go and you look in that menu, you're looking through all of the options, kind of having an idea of what you want in mind. And you see, and on that menu, there's this big box with the daily specials. And the daily special is what the chef wants you to eat, usually because they have those leftover ingredients, so they want to make it fancy so that you buy it. But they want you to eat that thing. That's the special thing. And you look at that specially recommended thing and the waiter raves about how great it is. And all the time you're thinking, yeah, but I really wanted a burger. That's why I came here. And you're going back and forth and back and forth. And all of a sudden you're like, you know what? Everybody says to get the pasta. I'm just going to go get the pasta. So you go and get the pasta. And as soon as you take a bite, you twirled it on the fork, you took a bite of the pasta, you realize, I didn't want the pasta. I wanted the burger. I wanted that big, juicy burger. I wanted the juice to drip down my face. I wanted the veggie burger, whatever kind of burger it is for you, a chicken patty, whatever it is. You wanted the taste of the bun and the special sauce and the grilled onions and the patty, and you wanted it all because it was what you wanted in that moment. But you got the pasta instead because you felt like you should. That's what's happening with most people. Most people are going about their life and their career and their work and their leadership like, I should be doing these things, but my heart's kind of telling me I should do this other thing. And that's what's happening. But what would happen if we just listened to what we actually wanted? That's the power of asking questions like, where do I want to go? And the heart of the where do I want to go question is really about, what do I desire? We know what we desire. We know what our heart truly wants. We know what we're truly supposed to do. But so often we're tuned to listening to other things besides that. Doesn't matter if it's your team that you're listening to and you're, as a leader, you're listening to what I should do, or if it's you just trying to navigate your career. We should be asking, what is it that I truly desire? Not what is going to make me the most money or give me the most success so that I look good around my friends, but what do I truly want? If we asked this question alone, how much better and happier would the world be? How much more exciting would it be to wake up and go to a job every day that became not just a job, but a mission, true work? How much more exciting and how much more would teams perform if everybody came with this aspect? Or even just a portion of this? What if our teams and our companies could ask the question, what do we desire for our customers or to impact our community with? And if they led with that, what would happen in organizations? This is such a powerful question. And it's the first question to truly thriving and leading through change. Another question that you can ask that can help you to get down to what it is that you desire, or especially if you're looking to improve your career or your job performance or go to that next level, is, what is the name of someone doing what I would love to do, and they're doing it at the next level? Can you think of someone? I want you to write it down for a second and think about that, because if you can identify that, you can identify a little bit about what it's going to take to get there and where you are today and all of that. So take a second and write that down. Okay, so if you've written it down, then the next thing you need to ask is, where am I today? Leaders that thrive through change really look at what's going on right now. They're realistic about what is going on in their teams. They're realistic about what's going on in their finances, their work, their family, whatever it is that there is their focus. And that's really important, because being realistic helps you to understand the steps that it's going to take for you to get to where you want to go. And when I talk about being realistic, I'm not saying it in this very downtrodden, well, you just need to be realistic, you should be more humble kind of way, because I don't believe that you should be more humble. I think most of us are less confident and always self-questioning and dealing with the self-sabotage that's in our head. If we can truly understand, where are we today from an objective point of view, a point of view that doesn't take emotion into account, but takes into account where we actually are, and just uses it as facts, rather than having all the self-talk, that we could probably move past that a lot faster. It's also about asking, what do I have going for me? What am I a genius at? Do you know what you're a genius at? If I were to ask you right now to turn to a person, a neighbor in the crowd here, I guess you really can't because we're not together, but if you were to turn someone, could you tell them right now what you are a genius at? And could you do it with confidence? I want you to write down right now, what do you think that you are a genius at? So when you understand what you're a genius at, you understand so much more about the power that is in you, power that's has been untapped until this point. And I don't think that anybody should have to hide that power. We should all be able to celebrate what we're geniuses at. And if we did more of that, We'd be more apt to have lives where we took bold moves, that we instigated change for ourselves. We did things when we knew that they were right because they were right to do, and we did it with boldness and confidence. When you understand what you're a genius at, you understand why people are choosing you for the role that they want to choose you for. You understand what's going to get your foot in the door. You understand why you're being called into the boardroom, and you understand how you can best help people. That's the same as any business saying, this is what I do really well. This is how I serve my customers. There's no difference in that. And so you should celebrate what you are a genius at. You should celebrate that as part of where you are today. Because if you don't have any idea of what you're a genius at, then how could you move forward to the next level? How could you help and serve people at a better level if you don't know what you should be emphasizing or where you should put your energy? Knowing what you're a genius at, knowing how you truly think, how you truly operate, and how that helps people, that's powerful. If you knew that, you could progress in your career and skip a couple levels just by finessing and really trying to move in that energy. And when you know what you're a genius at, you're also able to select positions and roles that will help you to emphasize that so that you can create more value and more impact, which will only help you to succeed more and more if you do have a career goal. So it not only helps you serve, it helps you in your life, helps you with your goals. It's just a good thing to know. Why should we ever try to dampen who we truly are just so that other people can think that we're humble or that, we're well-grounded? Let's just celebrate what we're geniuses at. Let's just celebrate who we are. Leaders that thrive through change also understand what it's going to take to get there. That's the third question. What will it take for me to get from where I am to where I want to go? They understand that they might need to change some things along the way. That in fact, the first thing that they really truly have to change is themselves. In order to truly change anything about you, anything about your career, anything about your business or your team, every leader has the responsibility to first look in the mirror. Because as a leader, whether it's leading yourself or a team or a company, you have to understand that who you are and who you show up as is impacting everything around you. It's given you the results that you have today. Even in situations and change where it's been unexpected, you have to understand that you know how to deal with those things. And it's your responsibility to respond in a manner that works well with where you're going and where you are. And so if you understand that you have the personal responsibility to look in the mirror first and to say, I have to change, and here's exactly how I need to change, whether it's I change my thinking, or I change my behaviors, or I listen a little bit more to my heart, or I change my tactics on how I talk to other people or how I show up in meetings, maybe I need to practice a little bit more. When you understand that and you take personal responsibility for that, it will help you to get to where you want to go faster and create less resistance along the way. I work with teams from all over the world. I work in change management work and business transformation. So my role is to help businesses and leaders to truly transform and change. And I can tell you that if leaders understood the fact that I have to change first, you have to change first. That if they understood that how they show up impacts everything that's going on around them, then they would have the key to truly seeing change. 80% of business transformations fail, and it fails because people don't have the right thinking and they don't understand this concept. And if you understand this concept, you can get the right thinking to help you to go to that next level. Most people are tolerating change. They're tolerating change. They believe that when change happens to them, that they can, they can survive through it. And you know what? That's okay. It is okay for us to believe or to go through change and just survive or just tolerate or just put our head down. There is no shame in that. There's no shame in that at all. When unexpected change happens, It's built in us to want to go and to fix things, to go in and try to figure out what is the recipe for success so that I can get out of here and back to my normal. It's built in us to want to stick our head in the sand or to avoid it or to just say, let's just see how we can make it through. And I wouldn't blame no one for doing that. And in instances where we instigate change, we're also kind of built to tolerate change. We want to follow the recipe. We want to stay in the lines of what it's expected. And sometimes that's enough. Doing that, it's a good start. You'll see results. There's nothing wrong with tolerating change and kind of going with the flow. Even if you're instigating it and making safe moves, that's perfectly fine, because you'll eventually get to where you want to go. But I think that if you're here, that you have an opportunity to thrive because you truly want to change. You wouldn't be here otherwise. You wouldn't be here if you didn't have this desire to grow and improve, despite all the changes that are going on around you, despite this past year and the year that is that's starting to queue up of what is going to come. Change, it's happening everywhere all the time. And in the change is an opportunity. If you can look at change every time it happens and say, boom, that's an opportunity for me to thrive. That's an opportunity for me to adjust into more of what I want. That's an opportunity for me to serve my community better, or to serve the business that I'm in better, or to serve my team better, or my coworkers. Then I believe that you can. I believe that you can thrive. I believe that you're probably here because you desire more. You desire more for yourself, for your company, for your professional life, for your community, for your family. And that's where the thriving truly comes. You've had the desire, and that's the first step to truly instigating change and leading change in your own life in a way where it doesn't happen to you, but it happens for you. And that's a huge shift. Do you understand and get the shift of when you sit around and wait for change and it happens, or you just go out following and following your purposeful action and the purpose in the heart-based leadership within you and seeing something come out of it because you followed that first? There's a huge difference in that. And I'm here to tell you that is an opportunity for you to thrive. If it's happened to you, if a change has happened and maybe like you lost your job, or you're looking for a new job because the projects you were working on, you thought it was going to be set up for a promotion and it just didn't happen. I've been there. But you still have an opportunity to thrive. You have an opportunity to step back and pause and ask and say, what is it that I really want? Instead of just going and trying to fix things. And if you're brave enough, you can even instigate change. You can morph from following a recipe. You can, for a successful life or a successful career, whatever it is, you can morph into doing what you really desire. You can pause and ask, what is it that I really want? And when's the last time I asked myself that? Because if I were to ask myself that right now, what could happen? What opportunities could be around the corner? You have the opportunity to get curious when you instigate change and to say, I wonder what's coming next. And I wonder if I just step out in the way I feel like I'm being led to step out, that I could just see some things happen. And as you're stepping out, you have this opportunity to step out and lead with purposeful action in your life. Purposeful action that truly understands where you are, what you're a complete genius at, where you desire to go, and what it would take to get there. Even if it means that you have to change some things, even if it means that you're leaving what feels comfortable or what feels normal. That is what true leadership looks like. And that's what will bring about true happiness and success. When you don't follow a recipe and you start to lead with purposeful action. So my challenge for you today is to do just that. Lead with purposeful action, and you will always thrive through change, no matter if it's happening to you or happening for you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Jenna. This is really very inspiring. And I see some claps on the team channel. Thank you for that. And we have a question from Mike. Go ahead, Mike.
I was just going to say what she's saying is very, very true and very inspirational. It's you know what I mean. Purposeful, action is what you should always do. Always be planning and focused and have a goal in mind, and make sure you, when you do set that goal in mind, make sure you have a plan in terms of the steps and the process along the way, and you will achieve it. You certainly will achieve it. That's for sure.
Absolutely.
Great presentation.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Do you have questions?
And I think what you discussed about the supermarket and the veggies and the junk food is almost close to, again, the job search. When we're searching for the job, sometimes we just want to get fast fixes, and we avoid those long-term fixes or long-term benefits. So yeah, it's sometimes tough when we're exhausted, when we're just in the middle of those situation where maybe financially stressed because of the job and the bills. We take poor decisions, unfortunately. So I really appreciate your reflection there.
Yeah, I had this comes from a lot of personal experience too. I've had a lot of opportunities in my career to do what would have felt good to my ego, what would have been a job that I could have taken for vanity's purposes, or because it would have made me succeed above my peers at the time. And I also had the opportunity to take jobs that would have helped me to flow more in my genius zone, doing things that I love to do. And I can tell you that every time I've chosen to do things that I have felt I have been more purposed and built for, and that alone has helped me grow my career far beyond what I expected. It put me in conversations and in boardrooms where I was the youngest one in the room. I was also the only female in the room of old white gentlemen in a banking institution, like a traditional banking institution, and in boardrooms in other nonprofits. And doing that, it felt like a risk at the time, but every time I have followed what I have felt has been my purposeful action and my own desire, it's always set me up for success. And so I will always talk about doing that, even if it does not feel good to your ego or it doesn't look good from a paycheck perspective, because eventually it will, and it'll lead you into rooms and opportunities that will always lead to more impact for both you and others.
Absolutely true. Absolutely true.
And I think this is the hardest thing to balance, right? So ego and what will make you truly happy. So that's the balance hard to find.
It definitely is. I've had to have a lot of frank conversations with myself. I feel like now being a full-time entrepreneur, that even comes into play more. But I've had to have a lot of conversations where I ask myself, Jenna, do you want to be right? Or do you want your life to be right? Do you want to learn and grow and get past this frictiony place? Because if you want to be right for your ego, then you're likely choosing to stay in the same place. And that's fine. You can be okay with that. Where you are is great. But if your desire is to truly do this, to have this kind of impact, to do these kinds of things in the world, to be this type of person and the person that you were created to be, then it needs to be like you have to get past being right and be able to learn and grow. It's been a very, very tough love kind of conversation to have with yourself all the time.
Cool. Thank you, Thomas, for following up.
Thank you.
Anyone have any other questions? Elaine, you wanna share anything from your side? I know
No, I was thinking that it's similar to leave your comfort zone and try something new, risk something, and we will succeed. But you have to leave your comfort zone. It's very important.
Yes, absolutely. Good point.
Cool. Perfect. This is awesome. Great smile, everybody. Okay, so again, thank you, Jenna. This is really amazing call. Very, good insights and wisdom there. I wish we really, you know, keep using it. Sometimes we just get distracted. We forget what we learned, and unfortunately, this affects us. So, do you have any final thoughts for us before we end up today?
I'm just so grateful to be here and honored that you would spend your evening together with me. So thank you.
Thank you.
Pleasure's all ours. It was great.
Thanks, everybody. Have a great night.
Thank you very
Sure.
much.
See you
Bye,
Sunday.
everyone.
Bye-bye.
Talk
Bye-bye.
to you soon.
Bye bye. Have a good one, everyone.
Have a great day. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye bye.